For us, I guess it was New Year's Eve when the burnt leaves started raining down. Even then though, I don't think, well, I know we didn't. We had no idea what was coming. That night was hot and it felt heavy. One of the times that we woke up, he said to me, "Is that the ocean?" And I said, "Surely," because what else would that be? In hindsight, it didn't sound anything like the ocean. At the time, I was willing to believe. So I went back to sleep. When I woke up, I realised it was fire. So we packed up and spent the day in the car trying to get as much information as we could. Kids had to play at the park for a little while, but it was way too hot. The heat is nothing like anything I've ever felt. Just terrifying. Like, felt thick. It's so hard to explain. We were okay to go home. The roads were opened up again.
Where are you off to, buddy? Yes, just have some ID ready for the German native. You'll be good to go.
Thank you.
License. Have a nice night.
Thank you so much.
We went home not knowing what to expect. There was a lot of misinformation. Even though it was nothing like some of the things we had heard, it was still, there was no way to prepare ourselves. I really wish I had documented all of it better. Even though in the moment I was too stressed. It's now February. And I don't know, when things like this happen, I guess you don't realise that once that big horrible day's passed and the flames have been put out, that it's not over. It's not over. We
That's probably the bath you want.
lived the life of boiling our water and showering in that.
Really warm.
You know, I played things and it didn't really matter. The power was out.
The pyramid. Look, the pyramid.
We just went to sleep when it got too dark. The worst thing was definitely not having access to the information about what was still going on, where was safe, keeping track of what had happened to our friends and loved ones, and yeah, that was definitely the hardest. We came home that New Year's Eve and then we were basically straight away told about the next really hot day that was coming. We thought we would stay. We prepared our house, our neighbourhood. You know, everybody was working together. So many things I remember. It was a long day.
We're shutting them or?
I don't remember what we were doing. The kids and James were filling up bins around the neighbourhood for the firefighters to have access to water and for us to have access in case of spot fires. We went around and did as much as we could for neighbours who had left, preparing their spaces, weeding.
There's a wheelbarrow here. Should I fill it?
never done this before, so we were just doing our best. Our little firefighter. And a little bit of leadership from a man up the road. Taking them up to empty.
What?
Taking them up there to empty them. Goodness for all the Chinese food.
I'm done.
11 o'clock that night, or we left. James went with his gut.
Yeah. No, I don't remember seeing this being.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
Listen, they've stopped. Go to sleep.
Absolutely no one in this car has stopped and gone.
Those are rabbits, listen.
As soon as you say that, it's like.
So we stayed in Canberra with my brother, kids with my mum. I don't know how many days we were there, but it was like,
how many days is this?
felt like forever.
Yeah. Felt like ever.
And ever.
And-
And it was tense few days, waiting and watching, trying to keep on top of what was happening in our area. Couldn't contact anyone who had stayed, knowing how many people had planned to stay. And that weighed heavily. James and I managed to get sick. Must have eaten something, or I guess stress. I mean, we were pretty stressed. We got a room in Canberra so that we could wash the small amount of clothes we had brought with us, wash and dry, because we couldn't hang clothes out due to smoke. I had the best broccolini of my life. It was so good. Even though I was feeling so sick, it was amazing. I wanted to have some holiday time, but we were all so on edge and just glued to what was going on. So we just couldn't relax. Well, we couldn't enjoy some things.
We're just feeling nervous. No, I'm sick. Feeling sick. A pepperoni pizza?
To spend time with my grandfather, and that was good.
We had it the other day.
Anyway, I don't know, rambling now. So I guess we're going home. We waited for the power to be back on. Some roads were open. We still had to go the long way, which more than doubled our trip. When we left, I didn't think we were coming home to a house. When we left, I just felt like there would be nothing left when we came home. And we are the lucky ones. We didn't lose anything. We've experienced minor inconveniences really compared to what other people have. Having to boil our water for showers, no lights, having to go to bed when it's too dark, no communications, no Wi-Fi, losing all our food that was stocked in the fridge for New Year's Eve.
Half price.
They're all things that they're not that big a deal when you see and hear what other people have lost and gone through. And yet it's still, I still feel really traumatized.
Pottery place.
And then I feel guilty because we're the lucky ones.
Yeah, both
That's
of
alright. Oh my
copies still there.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
ice cream shops.
The ice cream shops here.
Oh my gosh!
The scrapbook shops here. Even though it hasn't been as bad as that New Year's Eve, I still feel really anxious. And when we have days that are predicted to be bad and we're told to be prepared and keep watch, it's my anxious nature really does take over. I want to leave. I want to go. You know, I've learnt now the real truth of when they say if you're not physically and mentally able to stay and protect your property, go early, because there is a whole hole there that I didn't expect. And if you're there and you're not mentally prepared, you're just a burden on those who are there to protect their properties and on those who are fighting the fires and trying to protect life and property. There was a lot of pressure on me from certain people in our neighbourhood to stay. People always coming up to me and saying, oh, the guy from up the road, he knows what he's talking about. He says we're going to be all right. And we were. We were. And the best option for you is to stay. These people didn't talk to James. It was an obvious, they could see, I guess, maybe, that I was the weak link. I don't know. Nobody said to me, are you mentally okay to do this? Wait this out. And I was not mentally okay to be there. Even just that preparation day, I was broken.
Can I have the camera?
Day one of trying to fit in a whole summer holiday into 1 week. And even though our area was safe and the day didn't, thank goodness, the day didn't eventuate the way that was predicted, I'm still glad we went. The pressure, it was too much. For Patchy, I didn't really think he was absorbing much of what was going on. I mean, he's smart and whatever, but I don't know. I was surprised by how he had been affected. He was carrying around his special toys in case they disappeared. He was not sleeping, coming into our room. He was playing games in Minecraft, I think. And they all had fire. The world had fire.
I'm tenting. It's a world where keeps getting destroyed every day.
Destroyed how?
Of the fire.
He was drawing fire. So I feel like we still did the right thing. I know there's people here who don't think that.
Having fun!
And since then there's been a day where I've gone to town when the power went out again. Ironically, the day after I restocked it properly for the first time, because of course we just lost power and I actually don't know what to do. And I think I've been labelled as a flaky, I don't know, but I've been mentally unwell for so long. I'm not ready for this mentally, not ready for this physically. And my being here, if something did eventuate, not only me, but I have to worry about myself, my kids. And us being here is more pressure on the people working to protect. I don't know. Anyway.